C5. Yes, held it forever. Yes, almost on your knees, Mariah. Welcome guys, I'm Coach Yazik, your friendly voice booster on duty. Today, my lovely team has prepared a couple of clips of Mariah Carey from 90s till now, so I could see her voice change and talk about vocals for you. On my channel, you either get entertained, you learn something theoretically, or practically if you love to sing. I react spontaneously, so I don't really know what clips my team has chosen for me to see, but let's find out together. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content and check out my other platforms too. All the information here. As I can see, we're going back to the beginnings of Mariah Carey's career. Love Takes Time, 1990. Beautiful transition. Beautiful mix. A little bit raised larynx, but it's because she added some airiness to it. She didn't want to be so powerful. I've always loved her low notes. E5, falsetto. You see, when Mariah Carey sings, it's all about runs, dynamics, low notes, super high notes. It's very showy, but she's also very elegant. And I think that the end of 80s and the beginning of 90s was all about elegance when it comes to divas singing on stage. Deep lyrics, you know, the era of ballads, so lovely. I think it was the perfect time for Mariah Carey to, you know, step on stage and stay there forever. The agility of Mariah Carey's voice is E flat 5 with a nice placement. What is the... Yeah, that octave jump from G sharp 4 to G sharp 5 was stunning. Very nice placed chest voice, and then the jump straight into her head voice, not even falsetto because she likes to sing in her falsetto and whistle tones, but she does have a very good head voice, especially in the 90s. You could hear so much power there, and she would have a lot of control over her CT muscle responsible for head voice and TA muscle responsible for her chest voice, and combining the two to have that beautiful mix. You don't miss me, you don't need me, but I know that you do, and I feel that you do inside. Oh my God. Yes, she's the queen of whistles. And F sharp 6 to G sharp 6, like nothing. You know, the placement is there, so much control. We now know that, you know, Mariah Carey has nodules, and I'm not even sure that people knew it back then in the 90s. But now it's you know, a common knowledge if you're a fan, and that allows her to reach these super high notes, and she has this super low voice as well. When she talks, she sounds like an alto, but she has, you know, all of the highs and everything in between, especially in her debut era. I think she had a spectacular debut. Now let's move to Without You, live performance 1993. That's just the way the story goes. She's so playful, you know, dynamics are there, some vocal fry as well. In all of these phrases you have a lot of style. Most of it comes from R&B, I'd say, and some soulfulness. She must have listened to a lot of gospel singers as well. and she puts her own twist to whatever she's doing, and that's what makes covers, because this is a cover, great. You gotta make sure that you can show off what makes you you. But of course, artists, singers, they use similar tools, but it sounds different because we have different voices. So you gotta know your voice to be able to handle such big hits and make them even bigger than the original. You always smile, but in your eyes, your sorrow shows. Her vocal agility shows like that, you know, you go from softer to louder, then softer again, and then you go back down on the run. Like, you gotta have a lot of control, and you have to do a lot of different exercises or sing a lot of different songs in that genre to be able to do it naturally. So it doesn't sound forced, so it doesn't sound, you know, like you're just pretending, you know, that you're doing this style every day. You gotta put some work into it. And for me as a vocal coach, I always push my singers to their limits. You know, I give them different challenges, well-structured challenges, so they can achieve what's best in their voice and sound and style. Yeah, nice big belt. C#5. Beautiful placement. You can hear that whenever she's in her chest voice, she can kind of go here, like she directs her sound lower. She's lowering her larynx for an effect. But then when she goes, it just stays there. And she goes back here. So it sounds natural, it sounds good, she controls it very well, her vocal cords are fully zipped up, there is just enough compression in her vocal cords. That's why her sound is so effortless. When she sings "Can't Live Anymore," more is here, but then she moves right back to the higher placement, so it just sounds effortless and she's mixing very well. Listen to that. Beautiful. And the squeaks in between as well. Pure chest, a little bit lowered larynx, but not too much. The breath support. This is so Mariah Carey. Super cool runs, very well executed. High notes and super low notes in the beginning. Alright, we know that Mariah Carey was stunning in her debut era. Now we're taking a bigger jump. Thank you, team. We're moving to 2005. Mariah Carey singing "We Belong Together." Let's go. That's just G3, and I'm saying just G3 because Mariah Carey can go down to like G#2, which is a note that I can barely hit as a tenor. This song was super huge for her, and I remember it. I was born 1989, so I remember Mariah Carey on the radio, and when she came back with that song, I was very happy because I thought, I was just 16, I think. I thought, oh, we have something new from you that is played on radio regularly. So I was very happy. So the song has been written so she could show off her lower range, stay in her chest, nice full rounded tone. Let's see how she soars here. Nice. I didn't even know that it was this high. Okay, so she's jumping from E5, super zipped up vocal cords. I'd say even she's using more edge here, to make sure that she can maintain the sound. The voice is a little bit more husky, but she's still hitting these super high notes with beautiful placement. The vowels are a little bit more spread, but maybe she wants to maintain a little bit more of her twang here. Her pitch is slightly worse, slightly, but her voice has changed a little bit and she's released so many albums, promoted all of them, and she wrote this song, so she's been constantly using her voice, not just in the regular vocal range, but in like huge vocal range that not many can even do, and that will put some pressure on your voice. And we have to also acknowledge that she has nodules on her vocal folds. So I'm super happy that 2005 was still a moment where she could clearly and effortlessly hit such high notes. There is more effort to it, but she sounds amazing, don't you agree? Very nice mix. Nice. C5. Yes, held it forever. Yes, almost on your knees, Mariah. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how old she is in this performance, but she's definitely showing off her skills, super high notes, control, talent, style. Her voice is changing, but she's still managing to use that beautiful mixed voice, more edgy tones for these high notes, and her lows were pretty nice, silky and rounded. Awesome. Another jump, 2009, I Wanna Know What Love Is. I think she came out with this cover years ago. I don't know when. It feels like she had done it in the 90s. Let me know in the comment section because I don't know that. I don't think it's a premiere of this cover. Let's find out what she sounds like in 2009. Time to think things over. Love the huskiness of her tone. The pitch is a little bit, she's still like getting in it. Much better now. In my life, there's been a heartache and pain. Nice. And I don't know if I can face it again. I can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. Okay. Yes, so in this performance, it seems like it's much easier for her to sing with unzipped vocal folds. So whenever she goes to her beautiful falsetto, it just sounds effortless. When she's singing in her chest voice, when you need the full vocal cords to be zipped up, compressed, and the full mass should be touching, it seems like she needs more push to achieve it. If she doesn't do that, like in the beginning, she would lose pitch or she would just be a little bit shaky. So considering her condition here, she's doing awesome, knowing her voice, knowing what to do, very experienced singer. She's using some dynamics and some tricks to pull it off. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, there's some huskiness, more squeaks. Yeah, B4, so it's right on her bridge, first bridge, and she's already kind of mixing it and she's showing off the skill of the vocal placement that she wants to use, using a little bit of twang and a little bit of so she doesn't force her sound to splat, to be a little bit too forward, down forward, let's say. So it was smart. As I said in the beginning, she's doing a great job considering her condition. So she's covering these little things that are happening in her vocal folds with style, and that's what you need to do in such moments if you want to be on stage. For me as a vocal coach, when there is someone, I call them stylish but messy. I'm not calling her that. I'm just talking about, some singers that come and take lessons with me. When I work with stylish but messy voice types, let's say, because I have my own scale, let's say, because I group singers, to make it easier to work with some certain people. When there is no technique but just style, they're just messy. That's why I call them stylish but messy. But in her case, she's learned the technique perfectly before, and when her vocal folds were working properly, she could use it freely. Now you can definitely hear that there is something going on in her vocal folds, and she's using more style to cover it, and the fans love it. So that's what it's supposed to be. It's already, it's been already almost 20 years on professional stage, huge star, probably like 7 albums or even more released, and all of them promoted. So of course we want to hear you sing, and a smart thing to do for such singers would be to make sure that they have the right repertoire, so they don't have to go to certain places, and just work on their voices so they know what they can do. But this one was released years ago, and she's singing it years after, to my knowledge. Let me know if I'm right. And she's doing her best. I think now here comes the climax. Let's hear it. Oh, some growls. That's C5. Oh, okay, F5. Let me hear it again. Where is my mouse? Okay, here. So Mariah. So that C5 was properly belted. It was almost pure chest. She would normally mix it a little bit more, but I think it's a little bit harder for her to have that kind of coordination of her vocal cords at that time. And that belt was very strong. So F6 here. That sounds a little bit like lip syncing to me, so I think some of the high notes were lip synced. But I don't care. This is Mariah Carey. Let's carry on. No, Mariah, you're the queen.
Let's talk about love.
Beautiful, beautiful performance, 2009. I want to know what love is. I remember when she came out with this, I don't know how old I was, but you gotta let me know in the comment section. But I remember being like, what is going on? Like, who is that? Let me know your favorite moments of Mariah Carey's career, and how old were you? Do we have any Gen Z here watching, knowing of Mariah Carey's talent? Let me know. Vision of Love 2017. Let's hear it. Yeah, here again, she's covering some parts with style, with some staccato notes, so she can zip up her vocal folds. Very smart. This is heavy for her voice, especially singing such difficult songs right now. I mean, back in 2017, because I've heard her doing really well recently somewhere in the shorts. But her chest voice, especially in the lower part here, is less husky and it's a little bit more rounded and warm. So it probably varies day to day in her condition with her nodules. And I've heard that she doesn't want to operate the nodules because she's afraid of losing whistles or just losing some qualities of her voice. And I can't blame her because she loves singing probably as much as I do, or even more. I don't know. She's a songwriter. It's hard to compare. It's very individual, very subjective, but the music and singing has been her life for decades, and her voice matters to her, to millions of people around the world. So giving it a chance to lose even part of it is scary, so I can't blame her. So that G4, so yeah, go. Very smart. I have a vision of love instead of I have a vision of love. I don't even know if I sang this melody correctly, but I think it was higher, but doesn't matter. I have a vision of love. Very smart, very Mariah. I buy it. B flat 4. Yes, I love the agility here. Or whatever she did there. I think it's muscle memory. So if you're a musician or a singer, you know what muscle memory is, and you should know. If you don't know, muscle memory is when you do something so many times that your body just remembers it, and it doesn't matter if you're stressed, if you have a bad day, it will probably come out anyway. Very soulful. E flat 3. Yes. Yeah. She's so playful. Very smart. She's very smart. So she starts in her C5 and then goes back to B flat 4 and changes the vowel from B, because is easier to maintain on a belt. E vowel is very heady and the vocal cords compression is stronger for that vowel. Your larynx goes up a little bit because the back of your tongue goes up. So it's harder to do unless you add to E to create a little bit more space. But she's very smart to go for it's just easier for her to do it that way. And I love the fact that she's changing up those melodies a little bit so she can still sing these songs. I'm not sure if this is an original key. I don't care. She rebuilt this melody, you still recognize the song, and it's enjoyable, and she can do it live. And that's what matters. 2024, I want to know what love is. My team is awesome. I really want to hear it now. I don't think I've ever heard this version from 2024. Rock in Rio. Okay, I'm ready. Are you? You see, her technique has changed because her condition has changed. So, in my life, she has much more compression and it's a little bit more edgy like this. It's just easier for her to maintain her voice this way. So her tone has changed. It gives you brighter tone actually, but I think when she goes like this and wants to have that very rounded power, it just doesn't work anymore. So she's adjust her technique to the conditions again. In my life, heartache and pain. Nice. Can't. Very nice C sharp 5. Nice. What's that? Okay, that's backing vocals again. I wanna feel love it. Kind of sounds like her, so I think she has recorded some backing vocals for her lead melody that she's not singing, she's giving it to the fans. Okay. C5. Very clean, but not ended with like, you know, diminuendo, which is going from louder to softer. It just cuts. There's no vibrato at the end, which means that she's using some force to maintain the note. And it's better to do it that way than not do it at all in her case. So I think it's very smart. The phrasing is worse, but you know, that's what happens with age. Your vocal folds change, your muscle coordination is a little bit weaker, especially after so many years of performing so hard songs. So let's listen to it. Yeah, that F5, we couldn't see her. I don't know, she sang it live. Yeah, and her whistles changed as well, but they got a little bit thicker. They got a little bit thicker in the sound, so I kind of like it. C7 to D7. So, you see, I don't believe that she sang these whistles live because everything before the whistles was kind of shaky here and there, not super perfect, and then the whistle was like spot on, you know, pitch perfect. It's hard to believe this was live, but I don't care. She's the queen of the whistles. She has done so many whistles live throughout her whole career, so I think it's just like, do it however you would like. I think the previous whistle was live, and the super high whistle that she's done live before in her prime was probably lipped, but I don't care. Te amo, Brazil! We love you too, Mariah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your great songs, great talent, for inspiration. Like, up until now, I have singers coming to my studio and say that I'm a huge fan of Mariah Carey, I'm inspired by Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Christina Aguilera, and so on. So singers like Mariah Carey have paved the way for so many, and you know, all of the generations starting from their debut will know about Mariah Carey and get inspired for so many years. I'm so glad that she's performing. I'm so glad that she's using her voice the best possible way. I'm such a fan of vocals. I'm such a fan of brave singers, of singers who are not afraid of using their dynamics, their runs, you know, everything in between. Super rangy songs, you know, challenging themselves. And now, you know, since I'm a singer myself, I love challenging myself too. And now I've been coaching so many singers for so many years, probably almost 15 years now, regularly. And I love helping singers notice what's going on, find it in their own voice, and use it so they can sing the best possible way for themselves and for others, because singing is connection with your audiences. Some people love to sing for themselves, it's okay, but once you're on stage, it's a moment of connection. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you go. Let me know what artist I should analyze next. See my other platforms for more so we can stay in touch, and check the links below because I have some surprises there for you. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
I'm gonna boost your voice now.